The Golden State, once renowned for its idyllic landscapes and vibrant cities, is now facing a terrifying new reality: the relentless threat of megafires. Wildfires are no longer confined to remote forests and grasslands. They are encroaching upon our cities and suburbs, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. This is the new wildfire paradigm, a stark warning that the era of predictable, manageable fires is over. The recent fires that ravaged Los Angeles in January 2025 serve as a chilling testament to this new reality. Driven by fierce Santa Ana winds and fueled by drought-stricken vegetation, the flames tore through densely populated neighborhoods, turning homes, businesses, and lives to ash. This is not just a California problem, it's a global crisis. As climate change fuels hotter, drier conditions, wildfires are becoming more frequent and intense, threatening communities worldwide. The traditional approach to wildfire management, focused on suppression and control, is no longer sufficient. We need a paradigm shift in how we understand, prepare for, and mitigate the impact of these increasingly uncontrollable blazes. This means acknowledging the role of climate change, rethinking urban planning in fire-prone areas, and embracing proactive measures like prescribed burns. The future of our communities and the delicate ecosystems we depend upon hinges on our ability to adapt to this new wildfire paradigm. The time for complacency is over. The flames are at our doorstep. The devastating impact of wildfires on California is undeniable. The statistics paint a grim picture of a state under siege by increasingly frequent and ferocious fires. Since 2017, California has witnessed a dramatic surge in wildfire activity with disastrous consequences for its environment, economy, and people. The numbers are staggering. The average acreage burned annually in the past decade has doubled since 2014, a clear indication of the growing scale of these infernos. 6 of the 10 most destructive wildfires in California's history, measured by the number of structures razed, have occurred since 2017. These fires are not just bigger, they're also deadlier. 3 of the 5 most lethal wildfires since record-keeping began in 1933 have ignited in the past 8 years, claiming the lives of hundreds of Californians. The year 2017 marked a turning point, with the devastating Tubbs Fire in Sonoma County becoming the most destructive wildfire in California history at the time, only to be surpassed by the Camp Fire the following year. The trend continued with the CZU Lightning Complex fires in 2020 and the Dixie Fire in 2021, both ranking among the largest and most destructive wildfires in state history. These statistics are not mere numbers. They represent lives lost, homes destroyed, and communities forever scarred by the trauma of wildfire. They underscore the urgency for comprehensive action to address this escalating crisis and protect California from the ever-growing threat of megafires. The devastating wildfires that have ravaged California in recent years are not random acts of nature. They are the result of a complex interplay of factors, a perfect firestorm fueled by climate change, human activity, and decades of misguided fire suppression policies. At the heart of this crisis is climate change, the undeniable driver of hotter, drier conditions across the western United States. As temperatures rise and rainfall patterns become more erratic, California's forests and grasslands are transformed into tinderboxes, primed for ignition. Jennifer Marlin, a climate scientist at the Yale School of Environment, warns that climate change is essentially turning up the dial on wildfire risk. Human development in fire-prone areas further exacerbates the problem. As communities expand into the wildland-urban interface, we are effectively putting more people and property in harm's way. We're building more homes in fire-prone areas, and we're not doing enough to make those homes fire-resistant, explains Stephen Strader, a wildfire expert at Villanova University. Finally, decades of aggressive fire suppression have disrupted natural fire cycles and led to a dangerous buildup of flammable vegetation. This fuel load creates the perfect conditions for larger, more intense wildfires. Heather Alexander, a fire ecologist at Auburn University, emphasizes that we've spent the last century trying to put out all fires and now we're paying the price. Section 4. Anatomy of a Disaster. The January 2025 Los Angeles Wildfires. The January 2025 Los Angeles wildfires, which scorched over 37,000 acres, claimed at least 27 lives and destroyed over 10,600 structures, serve as a stark illustration of the devastating consequences of the new wildfire paradigm. These fires were not mere brush fires, they were urban infernos, fueled by a confluence of factors that created the perfect storm for disaster. Months of severe drought, exacerbated by climate change, had transformed the region's vegetation into bone-dry kindling. Unusually strong Santa Ana winds, typically confined to mountain regions, swept down into the valleys and urban areas, fanning the flames and propelling embers far ahead of the fire front. Char Miller, a professor of environmental analysis at Pomona College, notes that these winds were unprecedented in their intensity and reach, turning what might have been manageable fires into unstoppable infernos. The fires erupted with terrifying speed, catching residents and firefighters off guard. The Palisades Fire, driven by relentless winds, tore through densely populated neighborhoods, consuming homes and businesses in its path. The Eaton Fire, ignited by a downed power line, quickly grew into a monster, becoming the fifth deadliest and second most destructive wildfire in California history. The January 2025 Los Angeles wildfires were a wake-up call, a stark reminder that no community is immune to the threat of wildfire in the age of climate change. They highlighted the urgent need for proactive measures, from stricter building codes to increased vegetation management, to mitigate the risk and protect lives and property. Section 5. Fighting Fire with Flawed Tools. Challenges in Combating Urban Wildfires. The January 2025 Los Angeles wildfires exposed a critical weakness in our approach to wildfire management. Our current strategies and resources are ill-equipped to handle the unique challenges posed by urban wildfires. The speed, intensity, and sheer scale of these blazes overwhelm traditional firefighting tactics, leaving firefighters struggling to keep pace with the flames. One major obstacle is the very nature of urban environments. Densely packed homes, often surrounded by flammable landscaping, create a continuous fuel bed that allows fires to spread with remarkable speed. Narrow streets and limited access points hinder the movement of fire engines, while overhead power lines and other infrastructure can impede aerial firefighting efforts. The high winds that often accompany these fires, such as the Santa Ana winds in Southern California, pose another significant challenge. These winds can ground aerial firefighting efforts, limiting the use of air tankers and helicopters to drop water and retardant. They can also drive embers long distances, igniting spot fires far ahead of the main fire front, and creating new fronts for firefighters to contend with. Furthermore, urban water systems are not designed to handle the massive water demands of fighting large-scale wildfires. Fire hydrants can run dry, and water pressure can drop, hampering firefighting efforts at critical moments. The January 2025 Los Angeles fires demonstrated the need for more robust water infrastructure and innovative firefighting techniques to effectively combat the growing threat of urban wildfires.